Lots of people are talking about Rush this week after their surprise performance at the Juno Awards. And we finally got to see Anika Nilles play with them and Lauren Gold as well. But one of the things I've really noticed this week and before that too is how much pushback there is against the negativity, against the haters, against the misogyny towards Anika. You know, the one thing I have not heard much of is actual hate and negativity and misogyny towards Anika. And I think that says a lot about Rush fans and hard rock, heavy metal fans in general. I'm not saying Rush is a heavy metal band, but the heavy metal audience, the hard rock audience, and the Rush audience, they're all kind of part of that same big circle. They cross over a lot. That hard rock audience is a real tribal brotherhood, sisterhood. They were outcasts, and a lot of them grew up to be successful, but when we were 14, 15, 16 years old, we were the nerds. We were the kids that weren't cool. But we all had one thing in common, and that was that we loved our music. When I was 14 years old, I had just started listening to Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and Rush. The community of Rush fans is overwhelmingly supportive of Rush touring again with Anika. I have two stories real quick. When I was about 17 or 18 years old, we were going to a concert, me and a couple of friends, and we were going from Brigham City to Salt Lake City. It's about 50 miles, takes about an hour. I think we were going to see Rush on the Power Windows tour, but I'm not 100% sure of that one. We were on our way to Salt Lake and our car broke down. We were still about 15 or 20 miles from Salt Lake City. This was the late 80s, so we did not have cell phones. There's no mass transit. There's no buses. We didn't know how we were going to get all the rest of the way to Salt Lake. There's a bunch of dumb 17, 18-year-old kids. We decided we were just going to walk onto the on-ramp and walk down the freeway, hitchhiking. Not one of the wisest moments we've had, but it worked because as we were heading that way, a car passed us, and they saw that we were wearing the tribal uniform, which was denim jackets and concert T-shirts, and they realized those guys are going to the same show we are. So they drove down to the next exit, turned around, came back, and picked us up. So we're walking down the on-ramp, and this big old station wagon pulls up, and they go, "You guys going to the show?" And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Get in." So we hop in this station wagon with these two guys who look like Wayne and Garth from Wayne's World, except this is before Wayne's World. We talked music on the way down. They said, "We got to stop at our band rehearsal space in Salt Lake, downtown." And it looked a little shady to us, but it turns out, I didn't know this at the time, but it was right next door to the Speedway Cafe. If you're from Salt Lake, it's an iconic hard rock, punk rock venue, but it was in this really weird little industrial section where the freeway was going up and the parking lot was under the freeway overpass. And we went in and they grabbed whatever it was they needed. We went to the Salt Palace. That's how long ago it was. And we saw our concert. Thanked them on our way. We had friends at the show that we knew we could find and get a ride home from. So a couple of dudes, they look up and they go, "Hey, those guys are going to the same show we're going to. Let's pick them up." That's the community. That's the tribe. The other thing that I point to is Rob Halford. He was kind of ready to come out of the closet, and Judas Priest and their management were kind of against it because they thought the heavy metal community wouldn't accept it. But I think they underestimated the community because he left the band, and when he did come out, there really wasn't much of a backlash that I remember. And even in his autobiography, which is fantastic, by the way, and if you can buy the audiobook, you listen to him read it, he didn't feel like there was a huge backlash. There's always going to be a little bit of a backlash, but nothing terrible. And then when he rejoined the band, the fans just came right back and they said, "Oh, we're so happy to have him back. It's the metal god. Let's go." So that is, once again, an example of the hard rock, heavy metal community coming together, taking care of each other. It's a tribe, and they're doing it now with Rush. Everybody's excited to see Rush tour and play again, and everybody is supportive of Anika, and now that we've seen her play, everybody can calm down because she's awesome. So rock on.